Good evening, folks, and welcome to this week's episode of Beer Rating with Sean Connors. As you can see, the beer I have this week is Quidi Vidi's Director's Cut. And you may notice I have two separate bottles here, or cans, sorry, and they're both the same beer. So I'm going to rinse my glass as per usual. Just a quick cold water rinse. Once again, basically just to cool the glass down, get rid of any dust that might be there, and just a quick cleaning. This is as opposed to keeping your beer in the freezer, which you see many people do, but the experts say you actually shouldn't do that because you can get your glass so cold that it numbs your taste buds, so you're not going to get the full flavor of the beer. As well, they say you could get the taste from the freezer in your glass. What they say, if you don't believe it, they say get a knife, scrape off some of the frost in your freezer, let it melt, and then just try drinking that. Anything in the freezer, you're going to get that taste on the ice. You might have had ice cubes that have been in the freezer too long and they taste funny. And a lot of times that's what it is. You're getting the flavor from other items in the freezer. So rather than leave it in the freezer, they say just give it a quick cold water rinse. So I'll pour this one up, and then we'll read the can, taste the beer, and go from there. And for people that are following me on a regular basis, you might remember that November is actually Sour Beer Month, and this is the third sour beer for November. Alright, and this, as I said, this is Quidi Vidi Brewery, which is a local brewery here in St. John's. And this is a special brew that they made. So there you go, it's nice golden color, pretty damn clear. Nice head on it. Looks like a good beer, lots of carbonization. So as I said, Quidi Vidi, I'm going to give it a smell first. Ooh, very, very citrus. And once I read the can, you'll understand why. Just a quick background on the brewery. It's Quidi Vidi Brewery. I've done probably 3 or 4 different reviews of their beers. Some I've really liked, other ones not so much. And some were, not bad. So it's all over the board for me. And they're been around in Newfoundland here since 1996. I could be off a year, but I'm pretty sure it's 96. I'm pretty sure they're the first craft brewery in Newfoundland. There was a couple of engineers. They were at university. I love this story. They were at university, started brewing beer in the janitor's closet with the janitor's approval. They went away for a long weekend, I believe Thanksgiving, and while they were away, the janitor got into the homebrew, got drunk, got fired, and they got kicked out of residency. Alright, so let me read the can. It's Quidi Vidi Brewery. It says Director's Cut, that's the name of the beer. It says since 1989, the St. John's International Women's Film Festival has brought thousands of women's stories to the silver screen. As a proud supporter of all creative women, this limited run series features 30 works by local artists from across the province. It says join the celebrations October 2019, 30th St. John's International Women's Festival. Type of beer, blood orange and tangerine sour. 3.5% alcohol, so a little bit lower than your average beer. It's the 30th anniversary of the Women's Film Festival, so they had 30 artists in Newfoundland design cans, and these are 2 of the ones. I'm just going to zoom in so you can see the design of this can and the other one I have, and there's 30 all together. So if you're at the local NLC here in Newfoundland, by all means, check out the art. This is pretty funky. And this one, a nice coastal scene, appropriate for Newfoundland. There you go. So that's the beer. So hopefully I will like them because I got a second one to finish off. Alright. So I'll give it a taste. Like I said, it started off with a pretty substantial head that obviously didn't last too long. Definitely a sour. You can taste the tartness. It kind of reminds me a little bit of lemonade. Definitely getting the sour, definitely getting the citrus. Citrus in general, not so much blood orange or tangerine sour, but definitely citrusy. Yeah, the orange and the tangerine is definitely coming through. Sours in general, they're known as a refreshing drink, and this is definitely refreshing. The sours in general, they kind of remind me of a lemonade. Whereby on a hot summer day, I think I would really, really enjoy a sour. The rest of the year, yeah, I'm going to enjoy it, but not so much as I think on a hot summer day. And next summer, I definitely want to try a couple sours. Alright, so this is actually a pretty quick briefing today. Quick review. I'm actually really enjoying this, more than I thought I would. It's not, remember last week I had a Belgium sour, and that was supposed to be the sour beer that all sour beers are held up against, or if a brewery's going to start making sours, that's the one they look to. That one I found really sour, which wasn't a bad thing by any means. This one, I'm not finding it as sour, but it's definitely refreshing. I'll definitely have no problem finishing it off. It's funny because I've always been a beer drinker. Back in the day, my military days, specifically my Navy days, I did quite a bit of drinking. I mean, I was in my 20s, and back then it was drinking to get drunk. Now I'm a little bit older, and my drinking to get drunk days are pretty few and far between. So now I like to just sit down and have a couple of beers. And, you know, not getting pissed or anything else, just enjoying a couple of beers. So that being said, back in the day, when I was drinking to get drunk, I drank your typical, you know, your Coors, your Labatt's, your Budweiser, your typical North American mass beers. And I still find those, you know, if you're having a party where I'm going to be drinking several beers, I find those are easy drinking beers. However, as I got older and I started doing these reviews, I love trying other beers. And many beers I find really, really nice, but it's kind of thing, you know, they're sit down, have a beer or two, and that's about it. I definitely wouldn't be able to drink much of them. This one is kind of interesting because I find this one is somewhere in between, whereby I'm definitely enjoying it, as you can see how quick I'm drinking it. And I think I could pretty easily sit down. I don't think I'd be able to go on a full bender and just sit down drinking these constantly at night. Not that that happens anymore. But I think I could sit down at a party and easily drink 5 or 6 of these. No issues whatsoever. It's a really easy drinking beer. And I would say if you've never had a sour and you want to try a sour, I think this one would be a good start because it is a sour, but it's not, in my opinion, a hard in-your-face sour. It's a nice, refreshing, like I said, kind of reminds me of a nice glass of lemonade. Alright, to give my rating, obviously I like it, so it's going to be a decent rating. So the Quidi Vidi Director's Cut, which is in celebration of the 30th St. John's International Women's Film Festival, Blood Orange and Tangerine Sour, the third sour for November. I think I'm comfortable giving this 4.0. Actually, I'm really enjoying it. My scale, once again, it's out of 5. 1 being, don't like it, not going to finish it, it's going to be poured down the drain. A 2 being, yeah, you know, I'm not a big fan, but it's a beer, I'm going to finish it. A 3 is a good beer. A 4 is a very good beer, and a 5 is the best beer I've ever had. And I'm really enjoying this, as you can see how quick I'm drinking it. So, and luckily I have a second one. So I think a 4 is a pretty good rating for this. It's a very good beer. It's definitely one, if you're local, I think you should check it out. And as I said, if you've never had a sour and you're thinking, I want to check out a sour, see if I like them, this would be the beer to try. My sister actually, on my last post, she said she's never heard of a sour before. She wants to try one. So this might be a decent one if she can get her hands on one. Unfortunately, she's not in Newfoundland, but she might be able to find one up her way if she comes home anytime soon. Maybe she can grab one. So there you go, folks. That's my rating for the Director's Cut from Quidi Vidi 4.0. Until next beer, as always, enjoy responsibly. Cheers.